Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny. Chào mừng các bạn một video khác của Johnny nha. So, in this video, I'll be doing the speaking practice with my student online again. And we are working on various topics of speaking IELTS. Mình sẽ tập speaking với bạn học trò của mình. Bạn Lĩnh này là thứ 3 bạn thi rồi, còn 2 ngày nữa thi rồi. He will take exam in 2 days. Và trình độ của bạn cỡ khoảng 6.5 khoảng something like that. I think his Mr. Lin will take exam in 2 days and his level is about 6.5 for speaking, I think. Sometimes he reach 7, but you know, it depends on his health, his mind, if it's clear or not, or has he been working hard or something like that. But a lot of the time I think he reached 7.0 already, but sometimes it just dropped down to 6.5. We shall see. We shall see. Okay, so Mr. Lin, let's start with part 1 just to warm up first. Warm up thôi nha. So let's talk about swimming, shall we? So did you learn to swim when you were a child?
When I was a child, my parents did took me to a swimming pool and
brought you to a swimming pool? They brought you to a swimming pool? And?
Yes, and they teach me how to swim. So yes, that's why I know how to swim since I was very young. Since I was a child.
Since I was a child. Okay, so how often do you go swimming now? Mr. Lin, how often do you swimming now?
Yes.
How about now?
Well, currently, because my occupation as a student, I actually don't. I find it difficult to find time for swimming, and of course, I prefer to
what do you prefer to do?
Media than go swimming.
Oh, you prefer to consume mass media? To consume mass media rather than swimming?
Yes.
Yes. I see. So what places are there for swimming where you are living now? Is there any places for swimming where you live now?
Well, I guess swimming. Well, swimming is a very popular activity, so that's why the city where I live actually have a lot of a swimming pool, and of course very well equipped one. So yeah, there's a lot swimming pool at the place I live.
I see. It's reflected in the place you live, I see. So do you think it would be more enjoyable to go swimming outdoors or at an indoor pool, and why?
Well, of course, for my personal preference, I prefer to swimming outdoor because I guess it's just more comfortable, and the open space is just more relaxing, and I just find it's much more suitable for my characteristic. So that's why I enjoy swimming outside more than indoor pool.
Okay. Now, that's the end of part 1. I think we should go to part 2 and part 3 now. So, your part 2 for you. It's describe a famous business person that you know about. Miêu tả một cái người làm doanh nghiệp mà nổi tiếng mà bạn biết người này. You should say who this person is, what kind of business this person is involved in. Người này tham gia vào cái loại doanh nghiệp, hoạt động kinh doanh gì. What do you know about this business person? And explain what you think of this business person. So 4 main things. Okay. And you have also part 3 about famous people today. And you have advantages of being famous. Những lợi ích của chuyện được nổi tiếng và những người nổi tiếng ngày nay. Something like that. So, okay, you have 1 minute to think. 1 phút bắt đầu. Okay, your time's up. Mr. Lin, please describe a famous business person that you know about.
The famous business person that I know about is Tim Cook, which is CEO of Apple company, which is the largest electric um, the largest tech company in the world.
In the world, the
in
largest tech company in the world.
world. Of course, all of his business is involving buying or selling electric device, for example, such as I don't know, iPhone and laptop. And the thing that actually impressed me the most is how, based on his age, he's actually the one.
Based on his age.
Based on his age, I'm quite impressed that he's still the one that innovate and leading the market. And of course, there are many people that analyze his strategy, and that's why the way he control the company is very impressive, and
Very
I guess
impressive.
impressive. And I guess that's the common element of all business person in the world.
Okay, good. Right, let's talk about part 3 now. So, about famous people today. So, Mr. Lin, what kinds of people are most famous in your country today?
Well, I guess for my country, I guess most famous people are singer. I guess this is the most easily and the fastest way to become a famous person for my country, at least.
You mean the easiest and the fastest? The
Yes.
easiest and the fastest way to become famous in your country.
Yes.
Besides, is there any other ones?
Well, I guess people I guess well-known journalists and people who generally have a lot of money will also be in the eye of the public.
Be in the eye of the public or public eyes. I see. So why are there so many stories about famous people in the news? So what could be the reason behind this?
Well, from my point of view, I guess because people just generally care about famous people, they try to mimic the way they behave, and of course, this make people searching for their information. So I guess that's why many journalists keep writing story about famous people.
Yeah, okay. So that's why many journalists keep writing about famous people, I see. So do you think, do you think these newspapers or the news, they prefer to write story about famous people because that will help their sales figures?
Well, I guess that's yeah, I totally agree with that opinion. I guess it definitely will have their financial, so
Their
they
finance or
finance
financial? Their finance will help their finance, yeah.
because they definitely don't want to publish something that no one
To
interested
publish
to
to publish something that
no one interested in.
that no one is interested in.
No one is interested in.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, next question is, do you agree or disagree that many young people today want to be famous?
Well, well, from my point of view, I guess I agree because most young people are usually more
Ambitious.
ambitious. So that's why I guess being a famous people will give them a lot of power to influence other people.
You
So I
mean
guess
being a famous person? So
a person
a person
being
is a singular, people is plural. Số nhiều. So
being
being a
a
famous person
person
will give them the power
to
to.
influence other people. And I guess that's very appealing aspect of being a famous person. So I guess that's why young people want to become famous themselves.
Themselves, I see. I think you should relax a bit. This is not the real exam yet. Bình tĩnh, không có gì hết, bình tĩnh. Just relax first. You should talk a bit slower. Try to talk slower. You will make less mistake. Nói chậm hơn, em sẽ phạm phải ít lỗi hơn. Right. So, do you think everyone in the teenage age, or you think every of those young people today wants to be famous? Do you think every one of them wants to be famous today?
Well, I guess it's definitely a lot of people that want to become famous, but I don't think every single person want to become famous. I guess a lot of people do enjoy a more quiet life, more just a normal one. I guess it's help them relax, and sometimes you don't want the responsibility and the stress that this kind of occupation will bring for you.
Will bring to you. Will bring to you. Okay, so let's talk about advantages of being famous. Like what kind of benefits it can bring. So do you think it is easy for famous people to earn a lot of money?
Well, I guess it will be easier for famous person to earn money because there's a lot of way for them to earn money, like advertising, and of course they can due to their reputation, then they can also influence the way people think. So I guess it will make things easier for them when they want to make money.
Will make things quite relatively easier for them, I see. So, how about why might famous people enjoy having fans or followers? Fans or followers. So, why might famous people enjoy having fans?
Well, I guess that everyone enjoy having many people look up to them, and of course being adored is definitely not a bad thing to have.
You mean being
So
an idol, or being a famous person and would have lots of fans is not a bad idea?
yes, and of course this will help them social life too. So
It
I
will
guess
help their social life too.
their social life too, and make them feel that they are becoming a part of the society. So that's why I believe that famous person enjoy having fans.
Having fans. Okay, so do you think there could be disadvantages to having a lot of fans? I mean, I'm talking about famous people. Like, do you think there are any disadvantages to famous people who have lots of fans?
Well, I guess that they will many people of other people which will definitely feel jealous of their success, and I guess that you cannot make everyone happy, but of course this will definitely make them a little more concerned and stressful.
Stressful.
Stressful, especially if they are not a tactful person and cannot handle the problem in a suitable way. Tactful.
Okay. Alright, so there are, of course, goods and bad. There are give and takes in everything. Remember, there are benefits and disadvantages in everything. Okay, so in what way could famous people use their influence to do good things in the world?
Of course, the first thing come to my mind is they can promote products that protect the environment, and of course, because most people want to mimic their idol, they would buy the same thing, and as a result, they will help the environment a lot. So I guess that's one of the way that famous person could do good things.
People or person? People or person? Famous people. Plural. Okay.
Could help, could do good things for the world.
Okay. Is there any other way? Like beside from doing charity? And okay. Think about their impact. Like for example, if that person is a singer, they could probably compose or sing songs about world's problems. Like for example, problem about depression, problems about hunger, poverty, war, pollution, acid rain, deforestation, global changes. They could sing about those problems as well to raise awareness of the society. They do not necessarily need to do charity or give their money to the poor, you know?
Yes.
Okay, now I think we can move on to test number 4 of Cambridge 15. Test number 4, Cambridge 15. Okay, so are you there? Page 94 out of 137. Trang 94 trên 137. Okay, so let's return a bit to part 1, shall we? So let's talk about jewelry. Did we talk about jewelry before? Did we?
Yes.
Of course, we did talk about this one. But we didn't do part 2 and part 3, right? Okay, let's do part 2 and part 3 here. It's about science. Okay, part 2. Describe an interesting TV program you watched about a science topic. Miêu tả một cái chương trình TV thú vị mà bạn đã xem về một chủ đề khoa học. You should say, first, what science topic this TV program was about. When you saw this TV program, what you learned from this TV program about a science topic, and explain why you found this TV program interesting. 4 things. And of course, we have part 3 discussion topic about science and the public and scientific discoveries. Okay, you have 1 minute to think about a part 2 now. 1 minute start. Okay, time's up. And Mr. Lin, please describe an interesting TV program you watch about a science topic. Be careful, this is past tense.
So I have saw a lot of.
I have seen
a lot of TV programs that are related to a science topic, and well, I usually watch one on Discovery or National Geography, and so if I remember correctly, the content of the program is discuss about the research about the ice melt problem in and the ice melt problem.
You mean the polar caps melting problem?
Yes, the polar cap melting problem. And well, I probably watch it on a weekend, if I remember correctly. And of course, because it's a science topic program, it's very informative. And
Informative, you mean informative?
yes, informative,
And
informative. And of course, it's the scientists they do research, and they do the research about our impact on the environment, and the result. And actually, I have to say that I'm quite surprising that
I'm quite
our
surprised. I'm
quite
quite
surprised.
surprised that
I'm quite surprised that
surprised that
surprised surprised
surprised, not surprised. Surprised that
surprised that uh, s- our small daily activity could have such a tremendous effect like that.
Okay, that's good enough. So let's talk about part 3 topic science and the public. So Mr. Lin, how interested are most people in your country in science?
Mm. Uh, well, from my point of view, I have to say that only a small portion of my country actually interested in science, and I guess it's quite easy to understand because most people are still struggle with a financial issue, and
Issue, financial issue,
issue
issue,
issue
issue.
issue, and I guess it's occupy most of their time, so they don't really aware of the science research. So
They are
that's
not
why
really aware. Aware is an adjective. Be careful. They are not really
uh,
aware of.
they are not
They
really
are
aware
not
of.
really aware of.
They are not really aware of the science research. So that's why I believe that only a small portion people in my country is actually care about science.
Only a small portion of the people in my country actually care about science. I see. So that is one of the reasons. So, Mr. Lin, why do you think children today might be better at science than their parents?
Well, uh, uh, well, in my opinion, due to the development of technology and of course the internet, children today can access to a much wider range of information compared to their
Can get
parents.
access to, can get access to, that's a noun. But the verb access does not have a preposition. Cái access nó không có giới từ nha, nếu mà động từ. Còn nếu mà danh từ phải là have access to.
Yeah, they can access information from the world wide net, and of course,
You
this
mean the
will
World Wide Web?
yes, world wide web.
Mhm.
World Wide Web, and of course, compared to their parent generation, they don't have this ability. So I guess this is one of the main reasons that lead to children are much better at science compared to their parents.
But on the other hand, what can you say? These days, people are more occupied with the social media. They are more occupied with gaming, social media, and other kind of distraction. So could that explain why children today sometimes I don't think they are better at science than their parents? Do you think so?
I guess that's one of the reason, but I guess it still depend on their personality, and of course, if they are into science, they can easily find many.
They
They
can
can
easily
found
find. They can easily find many.
they can, uh, a document that related to science. So I guess still is of course still a subjective opinion anyway.
Okay. Right. So next question is, how do you suggest the public can learn about scientific developments? So what is the way for the public to learn about scientific developments? That's the question.
Well, I guess the easiest way to
The easiest way.
the easiest way to promote scientific development is make this compulsory subject at school.
School.
School. And of course, this is definitely the most effective way. I guess um, airing a scientific program on television, which is a very popular way for people to gaining information. So I guess most people will end up watching a scientific research. So I guess that's a couple of ways to promote scientific development for the public.
How about watching news on BBC, or watching or reading like news stories from like other websites?
Well, I guess at that point, that person is actually already know and are interested in scientific, so they will actively
In
search
science, you mean?
in science, and they will searching the information themselves. So I guess it's kind of defeat the whole point of promoting scientific when they have all interested in the science themselves.
When they have all the interest in the science themselves? Okay, good. Now, so, do you think books are a good way for people to learn about scientific developments, or is it not?
Well, personally, I don't believe books is a good way, because of course in today's world,
In today's world,
the process of our progress is extremely fast, and
our progress is a noun. Progress. Our progress is very fast.
Our progress in
Progress, tiến bộ. It's very fast.
Progress is very fast. So as a result, I afraid that most of the books will be outdated at the time that they're ready to be published. So
You mean
I guess
maybe publicized, or basically to be publicized, I think. To be made public. Hoặc là tốt nhất là to be made public. Từ public ở đây nó là cái tính từ. Because public here is an adjective, so you should say that to be made public. Because the word publicize means means differently, you know. You publicize a story means like you let everyone in the world knows about it. But here, you make something public here, it means like you publish. I think you should have used the word publish. If the book is published, xuất bản, publish, SH.
Yeah.
Alright, so okay, very good. So let's talk about scientific discoveries now. So what do you think are the most important scientific discoveries in the last 100 years?
Well, I guess the most important one is the creation of electricity, and of course the reason I believe is the most important is basically the foundation of a modern device. So every device that's around us require electric, and I guess electricity, and I guess because of that, I personally believe electricity is the most important discovery.
Okay, so think about, okay, you talk about electricity, but remember, electricity actually, how can I say, it was invented by whom? who actually invented electricity? Take a guess. It's not Edison. Edison is the one. Thomas Edison is the one who invented the what's it called? DC current, isn't it? But the one who actually first invented electricity, I think it's Faraday, Michael Faraday. Michael Faraday or Edison. And Tesla is the one who invented the AC current. But Edison is the one who invented DC current, direct current. So, but that was a long time ago, you know.
Oh.
It was not in the last 100 years. So maybe your knowledge needs to be improved here, you know. Luckily, the IELTS is just a test of your English ability, not a test of your knowledge. May cho em á, là IELTS chỉ tính về cái kỹ năng ngôn ngữ thôi, chứ nó không có care đến cái chuyện mà em nói đúng hay nói sai về sự thật. But anyway, in the last 100 years, think about the microwave. Think about the internet. Think about computer. Think about what else? In terms of weapons, we have the AK-47. AK-47 is actually one of the greatest scientific discovery. I mean, greatest scientific invention. But discovery, I think, do you know about vaccines? Discovery of penicillin by Fleming, Alexander Fleming, is one of the greatest inventions that saved so many lives. That's the first one. Cái vaccine, không phải cái penicillin bởi ông Fleming đó. Cứu sống nhiều người lắm luôn. And what else? I think that's good enough. Like those few examples are good enough. Right, so next question. Who do you agree or disagree that there are no more major scientific discoveries left to make? Are we done?
Well, personally, I disagree with this opinion because there are a lot of area that we still need to discovery. For example, the last frontier, the universe and the space, and of course we have made a lot of discovery, crucial one of a spaceship and a space station. So I guess there are still a lot of things left to do. So I don't believe that we are done yet.
Don't believe we're done yet? Okay. So there's still many things left to be discovered. Think about our current time now. This is 2021, and we are at the very beginning of the so-called Revolution 4.0. The so-called Revolution 4.0, cái được gọi là cách mạng công nghiệp, cách mạng 4.0. And of course, there are going to be so many new inventions coming up. Think about teleportation technology, công nghệ viễn tải. Teleportation technology. Think about holograms. That technology will develop further. Think about the technology that will take us to other star system in the universe. Cái công nghệ đưa chúng ta đến những hệ hành tinh khác trong vũ trụ. Very fast. Think about, let's say, artificial food, thức ăn nhân tạo, thực phẩm nhân tạo. Think about, what else? Think about like mobile home, nhà di động, mobile homes that can actually take off and landing, you know? Take off and landing, we can think about like movable home that can move, you know. Okay, those inventions will help make the human life more safer, more convenient, and it helps to discover even more things in the years to come. Okay, so Mr. Lin, who should pay for the scientific research? governments or private companies, and why? This is also a part 2 question for, writing, That's 2 question writing.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, I guess it's definitely a controversial topic. But I guess that personally, I guess government should pay for scientific research because while it's may slower compared to private company, I guess that they will have to publics it the finding and apply to our daily life compared to private company, which they may keep it secret to create advantage in such a competitive environment.
In such a
Uh,
competitive environment.
such a
I
competitive
see.
environment. So that's why I personally believe that government should respond paying for scientific research.
Hmm. I see. Think about private companies. They can help make the research much faster because they are not constrained by so many regulation and rules, and they are self-funded. They can how can I say, they can turn those scientific research into business and earn money, earn a good earn a good amount of money from those scientific research. So of course, the result will be fast and rapid. Will basically be fast, and there would be a lot of results that people can use. But compared to government-funded research, it takes a longer amount of time, and it's not so efficient either. So what do you think about this one?
Hmm. Well, I guess that a private company is definitely much more. Their the finding will much more faster, and of course
Will be much faster.
will be much faster. I guess due to this related to their personal affair, and so I guess they will use the resources much better compared to government, which may require a lot of agency to justify basically make sure that the money being put in good use. I guess that will make them less effective and may
Effective. Let's make them less effective and may
effective and require much longer time to complete.
hmm, and require much longer amount of time to complete. I see. But what do you think about this drawback of letting the private companies to do research? Do they produce reliable result? Could they
Well,
forge the result? giả mạo. Could they forge the results for their own financial gains?
well,
Could that
personally,
possibly be the result of that?
well, personally, I don't believe that they will affect the results because it definitely will affect their company reputation. So, um, and of course, it will relate it directly to their financial, and
It
of
will
course,
be directly
will
related
will
to.
their financial, and so of course they still need to convince the investor and other like stock market, and so I guess trading uh, as making a fake research may benefit for a short period of time, but I guess in the long run it's not very optimal to do so.
Okay. In the long run, it might not be optimal to do so. Very good. Trong đường dài thì không có tối ưu để làm như thế đâu. Well, very good. So, I think that's the end of the Cambridge 15. I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't mind, I think we should go to the Cambridge number 14.
Hmm.
Please go to the Cambridge number 14 and then we deal with it. Okay. Okay, let's go to Camp 14. And test number 1, speaking test. That is page 21 out of, no, 22 out of 127. 22, okay? Okay, we can just pass part 1 because it's no longer needed anyway. Let's go to part 2. Describe a book that you enjoy reading because you had to think a lot. Miêu tả một cuốn sách mà bạn rất là thích đọc bởi vì bạn phải nghĩ rất là nhiều về nó. You should say what this book was, why you decided to read it, what reading this book made you think about, and explain why you enjoyed reading this book. Okay, you also have part 3 about children and reading. And then electronic books. Alright. Oh, you have 1 minute to think about part 2 now, please. Okay. Let's do it now. Describe a book that you enjoyed reading because you had to think a lot. Past tense, be careful with this one.
So one of the books that I enjoy reading a lot is I believe the name of the book is The X. Well, it's a real life event. Talk about the boy that had an aircraft accident, and he somehow managed to land the airplane down to the forest by himself, and he started to overcome all the challenges.
Challenges.
And finally he's someone and people finally save him. And personally I guess the book just caught my eye, and so I decided to take a look without any particular reason. And after reading a few pages, I find it very suit my taste, so I decided to finish.
You mean it suit my pace? It suit my pace.
It suit
and
its pace. So I decided to give it a chance and just read it. Well, I guess the reason I need to think a lot about this book is the scenery. They have described it very. They have described the scenery in very detail.
In very good details.
Very good detail. So
in a lot of details. Yeah, in a lot of details. Let's say. Okay.
In a lot of detail.
Okay, that's all. Okay, let's just end here because it's 2 minutes already. Okay, now part 3 about children and reading. Let's talk about this one now. So, what are the most popular types of children's books in your country?
Well, I guess that color books and comics are the most common one in my country. I guess that's children just very I guess children find enjoy eye-catching big images. So I guess that's why most books that have most books are colorful is quite popular among children.
Okay. Right. So how about cartoon? You talk about colorful figures and color. How about cartoon? Like, for example, Detective Conan. Or what's it called? I don't remember. There are a lot of other kind of new cartoons that I'm not aware of. So what do you think about cartoon on children? Do you think they provide more benefits, or they are disadvantages to children's development?
Well, personally, I believe that it's a drawback because
comics, not cartoon. Cartoon is basically a TV thing. Comics, okay, comics, truyện tranh.
Well, I guess that they are not as good as books because most of them are represented by a picture and not a word. So the children vocabulary would be lackluster and it will
A
not be
blockbuster, phim bom tấn à?
lackluster. Lackluster.
Okay, what's it called? How do
With
you pronounce it?
oh god, lackluster. Let's check.
I only know blockbuster. Blockbuster, phim bom tấn. Could be the bestseller. Let's just say bestseller.
Here we go, lackluster. Anyway, just skip. Oh.
Just write on the chat. Okay, I think we just need to continue now. So, okay, so what are the benefits of parents reading books to their children for the development of all the skills, you know?
I guess that's I guess it will be a good way to help children find more joy and help them more interest in books because I guess that many children these days don't really find book fascinating. So I guess with the help of their parents, they can find book more enjoyable to read and make them more well informed.
Well informed. Okay, what about life lessons in those books? Will it help their moral development, phát triển về đạo đức, moral development, or the development of moral values, những giá trị đạo đức, phát triển những giá trị đạo đức?
Personally, I don't believe that they are very effective because in order to understand them well, despite the book that have tried their best to make the problem more simplistic, they will still need real life experience. So that I guess despite the book good intended,
Good
they
intention, you mean?
good intention, the children just lacking the required experience to actually understand and utilize this lesson.
To utilize this lesson in a more effective way and in a suitable way, isn't it? Okay, so what do you think about improving this one? Of course, reading books for their children could improve the relationship between the parents and the child. Think about the time, the quality time, thời gian chất lượng, that they spend together.
Well, I guess that I guess book can be a common ground for both parents and their children to be more to spend quality time with. Well, I guess when reading a books, you can also have time to discuss, and it will and it this action can deepen the bond between
Deepen the bonds, or we can say can enhance the bond between
between parents and their children. So I guess book can definitely be a good way to spend their quality time together.
Okay. All right. So, should parents always let children choose the book they read? What is the problem? What is the problem with letting children just choose freely whatever kind of books to read?
Well, personally, I guess that parents should not let the children choose what book they want to read, because that children are definitely reading books that are not very well They don't contain educate.
You mean educational content?
Yes, educational content.
Educational contents. That doesn't contain the books that don't contain educational contents.
The book doesn't contain education.
Educational contents.
Educational content. I guess this will definitely affect the child development and
child's development. It will definitely affect the child's development.
Affect the child development. And so I guess that's one of the reasons parents should not let their children choose what book they want to read.
Choose what book they want to read. To read. Okay. What do you think if children get their hands on, like, how can I say, contents that are not suitable for their age? Like for example, love stories for, say, children who are only 6 or 7 years old. Or worse, could be, pornography for, like, primary school children. If they get their hands on those contents, what do you think? Pornography là mấy cái phim, mấy cái chuyện khiêu dâm á. Yeah, pornography.
Well, I guess that due to their age, I guess that they will not be able to identify what is benefit for them. So
what is beneficial for them?
What is beneficial for them, and I guess that they will try to mimic what the books itself, and this definitely will have the book will have a bad influence to the child behavior and the ways they
a bad influence on the child's development and
the way they think and their action too.
Okay. Of course, it will basically be harmful for children. That's why those books are prohibited. That are prohibited in schools. Prohibited to be sold to young children, of course. Now, let's talk about ebooks, electronic books. So, how popular are electronic books in your country?
Well, for my opinion, electric book is definitely not very popular in my country. I guess traditional book is definitely more appealing. I guess because when people purchase something, they want to hold it, and basically they feel that they can possess it, and so as a result, electric book is kind of feel kind of empty, and they can not collect them on the book sale. So
on the bookshelves, shelves.
And so I guess that's they don't find electric book very appealing.
Don't find electronic books very appealing. Okay, so that's not a very popular option for Vietnamese people. But these days, things are changing. Like, think about students. Of course, they cannot bring like heavy books everywhere, or sometimes like the people in the working age, if they would like to read books, they have to read things online, right? Or they can just seek for ebooks, because real books are really heavy. They can be a burden to bring along,
Yes.
Of course. So that's why they look for ebooks. So I think the situation is changing. It's slowly changing, I think. Now, so what are the advantages of parents reading ebooks compared to printed books? This question is weird, because they talk about parents reading ebooks compared to printed books.
Hmm. Well, I guess I can see some couple of advantages. Of course, the first advantage is the device itself. It's definitely much safer. Uh, and of course, the screen do have a lot of feature that will help protect their eye from their eyes. And compared to printed books, they will need a light
A light
source that's a
source, yeah.
light source that's efficient enough so that they can read one. While of course, phone don't need can create their own light source.
Their own,
Uh, their own,
their own light source. Their
their
own,
own
their
light
own,
source,
ow, 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 ow,
their own
their own light
own
source.
light source. And I guess another benefit is that some books are extremely heavy, which is not very beneficial. With this definitely can harm their uh, can be abundant to their body when they try to reading the content inside the books. So that's some couple advantages that I can think of.
Okay, good. Now, so will electronic books ever completely replace printed books in the future? What do you think?
Well, personally, I do agree that this can totally happen in the far future because it's just much more efficient, much more space. It takes up less space and more convenient. Of course, for people who like to collecting books, then I guess in that case, printed books still have its own market share. So.
Hmm.
So I guess beside those specific reason, I guess most people will look for electronic books more than the traditional one.
Mm-hmm. So think about the waste. Think about like books will eventually deteriorate, will eventually become a waste. So you think electronic books is a better way to store knowledge and a better way to propagate that knowledge?
Uh, well, I guess that well, I would say I will agree with this opinion because you can store much more book when electronic books more than real the traditional one, and you can publish it to everyone and uh, in a
And
much faster way compared
hmm,
to you have to print a lot of printed books. So I
hmm,
guess it's just save a lot of resources and protect the environment more.
think so. All right, we can go to test number 2 now. Test 2. Okay, please go to page 43. Page 43 out of 127. Um, Part 1 actually has a very interesting topic. It's about social media, mạng xã hội. So, Mr. Lin, which social media website do you use? Which one? Which?
Well, uh, personally, I use Facebook, which is the most popular social website. And of course, I use this to communicate with my friends, not because I actually enjoy using it. But I guess, yeah, I probably use Facebook the most.
Facebook. I
Facebook.
probably use Facebook a lot, the most. Alright, so how much time do you spend on social media sites per day?
Uh, I guess well, I actually spend quite a lot of time on social media for well the most. I guess that I use uh, YouTube a lot and every single day, and it's definitely take up a lot of my time, which is I guess it can be utilized into much more better much more better thing.
Such as
Just as
such as
prepared.
studying and preparing for the IELTS. Such as studying and preparing for the IELTS exam.
Yes.
Or studying like another language, or studying another skill that can be helpful in your future career, like for example leadership skill, for example interpersonal skills, problem solving skill, something like that. Now, so what kind of information about yourself have you put on social media, and are you afraid of that?
Uh,
Hmm.
kind of information. Well, I guess that you register an account. You will need your name, day of the day of birth, and I guess that's all. Because
No,
personally,
actually you have to put in there a lot more things, like where you attended school,
really,
your friend list, of course, contain a lot of your relatives.
uh, I guess so. Because
Your basically your posts, your interaction, your like, your shares, all of those things will become data. And also your messages. Do you think that social media will not read those things? Of course, they sell those information. That's why when you chat about something, that's why when you talk about something, immediately those advertisement or advertisement appears on your news feed. So, do you afraid that one day social media will be how can I say, will be disadvantages to people's life?
well, I guess social media have already become a disadvantage for people's life.
You sure
Judging
about
on
it?
Yes,
You can be
judging on
serious. It
well,
helps people. It helps people. Like for example, it helps me find you as my student.
uh,
Of course, so it
right,
depends on how people utilize it.
of course. But I guess most people misuse a lot, and they spend a lot of their time on things that are not very beneficial. And of course, the social media do steal their information to make money. And I guess that's it's kind of a privacy invade their privacy. But I guess people definitely need to
Their
learn
privacy, your privacy, yeah, the privacy.
privacy. I guess people still need to learn more about protecting their information.
Yes, because data is a new form of resource. So basically, selling data, you can actually sell data to people for money, of course. And people have already been done. They have been doing that for like many years. Have been doing that for many years. Okay, so is there anything you don't like about social media and why?
Hmm. Uh, well, I guess that's one of the thing I don't like about social media is most of them is quite they're not very optimistic about a problem, and of course they do share a lot of information that are misleading and lacking evidence, and this will make a lot of people begin to panic and or having their judgment affected by this kind of um, misleading information. So I guess that's one of the reasons that I don't personally don't enjoy using social media.
You don't personally enjoy using social media because of a lot of other drawbacks, isn't it? But
Yes.
think about it. People do business on social media, and people can actually profit from social media too. You just have to take control, take the control in your hand. You just have to take control of your time. You have to take control of that apps, of those social media sites, and use it for your own advantages. For your own advantage. Right, so let's go to part 2 now. Describe something you liked very much, which you bought for your home. You bought for your home. Miêu tả một cái gì đó bạn đã từng thích rất nhiều mà bạn đã từng mua cho nhà của mình. You should say what you bought. Bạn đã mua cái gì? When and where you bought it. Like why you chose this particular thing. Tại sao bạn lại chọn cái loại cụ thể như thế? And explain why you liked it so much. This is a past tense thing, okay? And you also have part 3 about creating a nice home and different types of home. Okay, you have 1 minute to think about a part 2 now. Okay, time's up. Please describe something you liked very much, which you bought for your home, Mr. Lin.
So, one of the things that I have bought for my home is a watch, and if I'm pretty sure that I bought it when I for me and my friend are traveling around District 7. Of course, we just take a look around, and this particular watch just caught my eye. Well, I guess the reason I bought this is because my personal house is lacking a physical watch. I guess we depend a lot.
You mean clock or watch?
Clock.
A clock is the thing that you put on the walls. A watch is something that you basically wear on your wrist. Clock mới là đồng hồ treo tường nha. It's like a physical clock.
And I guess because we depend a lot on our electronic device for judging the time. So that's why I think that a clock would be very beneficial because everyone can use this and it's very practical. And of course, the price is very reasonable due to the fact that I'm still a student. I guess I really like it because of the design and just the way it looked. It just fit perfectly for my house theme. So that's why I like it a lot.
Okay, good. That's good enough. So let's go to part 3 now. Discussion topic: creating a nice home. So Mr. Lin, why do some people buy lots of things for their homes? It's a part 3 question. Part 3. Be careful.
Okay. Well, I guess goods that they buy will represent their personality. So that's why when people buy a lot of things, they can custom their house to their liking, and as a result, when other people visit their house, they will have a good insight of the owner personality, and I guess that it also make the owner happy and more comfortable because that's what you want when you're staying at your own home.
At your own home. At your own home. Own. On your own. On your own. Không phải own. On your own home.
Own home.
Okay, so think about this one. Does people just buy and buy and buy? They just purchase things to fill in the void that they feel. Một số người họ mua đồ chỉ để là lấp đầy cái khoảng trống trong cái tâm hồn mà họ đang cảm thấy thiếu thốn. Like some people, they just feel in a void that they feel in their soul, and so they try to purchase new things, you know. So basically they use materials just to fill in their missing part of their life. For example, if someone feels depressed, they might be eating more, they overeat. They do overeating. And as a result, they gain weight. So that is a coping mechanism. Nó là một cái phương cách để mà gọi là giống như là thích nghi thôi. Coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism for a lot of people. So, what do you think about this one? Is it a healthy thing to do?
Personally, I guess that I would say that this is not a healthy habit because they waste a lot of money and they don't use all of them very effectively. I guess beside that, I don't think there's many other drawbacks that this behavior brings.
Okay, but it's actually a bad thing just to purchase objects to fill in the void, to fill in the emptiness that a person can feel. Well, let's talk about consumerism. This one is very related to consumerism, chủ nghĩa tiêu dùng. So, do you really think that purchasing a lot of expensive things can help make a person happy?
Well, I guess that it definitely can because many people do find that owning new material to make their life happier. Of course, it's definitely very common for people to owning new things, for example, such as phone. It makes their life more interesting and
Interesting.
It's interesting and it's quite refreshing. So that's why I believe that many people will use material to make their life more happier.
To make their life more happier or happier, yeah. All right, so you think highly about consumerism. You think it's beneficial, right?
Yes, in some aspect.
Okay, in some. How about the other aspect? What is bad about consumerism?
I guess that because they keep changing their personal use. I guess that it will create a lot of waste, and many goods that they purchase are still in a very decent condition, and of course throwing them away would be extremely challenging for people to recycle them. And
Yes.
the more people do it, it might overwhelming system and create a lot of waste that cannot be recycled again.
That cannot be recycled again, I see. Okay, so it poses a major risk to the environment if consumerism is left unchecked. If consumerism is left unchecked, it means like if nobody consider about the bad thing of consumerism and control it, if consumerism is left unchecked, it could be disastrous for the environment. Thảm họa đấy nha. It could be disastrous for the environment. Okay, now, do you think it is expensive to make a home look nice? Làm cho một cái nhà nhìn đẹp có cần phải mất tiền không?
Well, personally, I don't believe that you need to spend a large amount of money to make your home look nice, because it still depends on the person personality.
The personality.
Because some people do enjoy small home, the more compact one and more practical. So this will lead to the masses decrease in the money they spend because they personally don't feel that they need to spend that money. So I guess So I guess that to make your home look nice, you don't need to actually spend a large sum of money.
They don't need to spend a large sum of money, I see. Right. I do believe that making a home looking nice does not require people to spend an arm and a leg. So, like for example, if you say it costs an arm and a leg, đó là một cái thành ngữ, it's an idiom. It costs an arm and a leg. It means like it's extremely expensive. It costs an arm and a leg. Tốn một cái cánh tay với một cái cẳng chân. Tức là nó cực kỳ mắc tiền. It costs an arm. You don't have to spend a lot of money and buy things that cost an arm and a leg just to make your home look nice. Look at my walls. You can look at my walls. Nhìn cái bức tường nha thầy nè. Look at my walls. I painted it with like very cheap, like just $3 paint, $3 acrylic paints for one piece of for one side of the wall, you know. Một mặt của cái tường này tốn 60k. Số 60k tiền sơn acrylic, sơn mà dành cho mấy bạn mà vẽ tranh á.
Yeah.
And then I just decorate myself, and all you need to have is a good eye. It's a good fashion style, a good style. You just have to have style, you know. Cần có phong cách thôi.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be expensive, you know. It doesn't have to. Okay, so why don't some people care about how their home looks?
Well, I guess that it's definitely depend on their interest, because for such as from some people, they really care about their shoes, and they will
Their
spend a
what?
lot.
Their what? Sorry again?
Yeah.
Their shoes. Oh, I see.
And of course, I have a lot of friends. They do spend a lot sum of money just for the brand and the way it look. Of course, personally, I don't really understand. It's definitely not my forte, so I don't understand most of it. But I can get the reason why. So because of that, I guess many people have a different objective, and sometimes the way their home look is just not one of them.
Okay. Say, okay, right. So you mean some people just don't prioritize? It's not just their forte, không phải thế mạnh. Just not their forte, their thế mạnh. It's just not something they would like to prioritize their time into doing, right?
Yes.
Không muốn dành thời gian giống kiểu mà ưu tiên thời gian cho chuyện đó. Alright, so let's talk about different types of home. It's getting more interesting now. So, in what way is living in a flat or apartment better than living in a house?
Well, personally, I definitely have personal experience when it comes to living in apartment, because I'm actually living in one, and I guess I have to say that one of the things that is, in my opinion, better is the security, because when you live in apartment, it will have its own security brand to protect it. And when you're living in a hive above from the ground, you can avoid a lot of annoying insect. And so that's some of the advantage that I really that I think of is a very crucial one.
Okay. Right. Crucial one. But, you know, apartments, of course, contains a lot of disadvantages compared to living in a house too. Think about your neighbors. Think about all the strict rules that you have to obey. Like, for example, you're not allowed to make noise after 10 o'clock p.m., 10 p.m. Or otherwise they can call the security guard and knock on your door and complain. And you are actually next to other people, you know. So if you make noise, people next door can hear it very clearly. Sometimes if you listen to music, people can listen to it clearly as well. Think about that. That is one disadvantage. The problem of noise pollution, the noise. But of course, there are a lot of advantages to living in an apartment too. Say the safetyness. So the safetyness of your living in an apartment, you are well guarded. Basically, the security guards will just patrolling around your place for like 24/7. They protect you. And the doors are secure, of course. Most doors are secure. When you live alone in a house, it could be dangerous, you know. You never know. Alright, so do you think homes will look different in the future? Think about like what is going on with our society these days. Think about like the designing aspect. Think about the fact that people are becoming more and more creative these days.
Well, I guess home will look different in the future, because unlike apartment, that's the pre-built one, the owner have a full power to design.
Full power
To design or decide what it will look like, and of course, each of them will based on each personality, and I guess that we will have a lot of different style of house and design in the future.
Okay. All right. So, do you agree that the kinds of homes people prefer change as they get older? It means like, if you are young, you prefer this kind of home. If you are older, you prefer a different kind of home. Is that? Do you agree?
Personally, I guess I actually agree with this opinion, because for young people, they will definitely prefer something more newer and more up to date. So as a result, their home will definitely much more modern compared to I guess when they get older, they will be much more comfortable with something that they comfortable with something that they already have get used of, they already used to. So I guess their opinion about their opinion will definitely change throughout time.
Okay. So, because their opinion will change to the time, of course they will. Obviously they will. Think about like the old people. They would prefer to live in a place where more and more people are there, you know. So in case something happens to them, somebody will probably take care of them, you know. For old people, it's the worst to be alone, you know. Nobody wants to be alone, especially when you grow really old and you are unhealthy. And what if you die and nobody will take care of you? But of course, some people, they just think differently, who knows. But once you are still young, basically you can just be different. Sometimes you want to be with people, but sometimes you want to live in a separate house. And doesn't have to basically depends on anyone or live next door to anybody, you know. All right, let's move on. Move on to this is test 3, right? Yeah, test 3. Let's move on to test 3. So let's talk about, okay, let's go to page 65 out of 127. Trang 65 trên 1727. Okay, let's talk about neighbors, shall we? So how often do you see your neighbors and why?
Oh wow. Well, I actually pretty rarely to see my neighbor. I guess that everybody is just too busy with their daily life. You actually care about each other, but so, so yeah, I actually quite rarely to see my neighbor. That's why.
Yeah, so you rarely see your neighbor. And do you keep a good relationship with them?
Uh, Personally, we are basically stranger. I don't even remember my neighbor's face, so it's making quite awkward when we are in the same elevator. So, uh, so I guess that I would like to improve my relationship with my neighbor in the future.
Oh, I see. So do you invite your neighbors to your home? And why? And why not?
Uh, well, from my point of view, judging at the period of time that we are living,
Judging by the
judging by the period of time that we are living, I personally find it's quite dangerous to invite a stranger to your home. So that's why I actually have never invited someone who not
Yes,
my relative to my home.
I see. Okay. So, has a neighbor ever helped you? You know you have neighbors for a reason, of course. You have neighbors because you want to have the feeling of belonging to a society, the feeling of belonging to like a group of people. But sometimes people think a bit too, materialistically. Đôi khi con người ta suy nghĩ hơi thực dụng. They have neighbor because they expect help from them. So has a neighbor ever helped you?
Well, uh, as far as I can remember, I actually never received any help from my neighbor before. So it's definitely straight. Of course, even if they try to help me, I would assume that they will have ulterior motivate behind their action. So personally, I would like them not to help me to prevent, unfortunately, situation.
Okay. Alright, so tell me, what do you think? Do you think you are a good neighbor or not? Are you a good neighbor
Well,
or not?
uh,
Be
I
honest.
guess
Just be honest.
I guess personally, I would say that I am a pretty good neighbor, because I definitely doesn't create a lot of doesn't create a lot of noise pollution, and I also uh, fol- following the rule of the neighborhood very well. So I personally believe that I would not dissatisfy anyone in my neighborhood.
No, you are not a good neighbor. You are an okay neighbor. Because, okay, first thing, so basically you don't talk to your other neighbors so much. So it means like social wise, you are not very communicative. Social wise, so social wise, you're not very communicative. Second, basically, if you don't talk to them much, it means you don't help them much. Am I right?
I think so.
Okay, if you don't help them much, how could you ever consider yourself as a good neighbor? Okay, you said that you don't make noise, you obey the rules. Okay, good. But it all means that you are an okay, just an average okay neighbor. Until you manage to help people out and you talk to them more, then you become a good neighbor. You know? That's my definition I don't know if your definition of being a good neighbor is the same, maybe. No. Đó là cái khái niệm của thầy thôi. Nhiều khi khái niệm của em về cái good neighbor nó khác thì sao? Maybe. Alright. Just joking with you. Now, let's go to part 2. Describe a very difficult task that you succeeded in doing as part of your work or studies. Miêu tả một cái công việc rất là khó khăn mà bạn đã thành công trong chuyện làm đó, như là một phần của cái nghề hoặc là một phần của cái chuyện học hành của bạn. You should say what task you did, why this task was very difficult, was absolutely difficult, was tremendously difficult, how you worked on this task, and explain how you felt when you had successfully completed this task. Cảm thấy sao? Okay, you have part 3 about difficult jobs as well. Well, công việc khó khăn. And personal and career success. I'm sure this one would not be a problem for you because you're a Capricorn. You love to work, I know. Capricorn people are very ambitious. They love to work, they love to fight harder. Em sinh cung Mai Kết mà, of course. Em rất là thích làm việc, I know. Okay, anyway. You have 1 minute to think about part 2. 1 minute to start. Alright, you can start now. Describe a very difficult task that you succeeded in doing as part of your work or study. Your time starts now.
Well, so a very difficult task that I I managed to achieve is an entrance exam at the end of my grade 9 in secondary school.
School.
School. It's a mathematics test, and of course I am not very gifted in this department. So as a result, I am quite behind my friend. Well, the reason behind why it's so challenging is it's a nationwide exam, so it's very prestigious.
What? A very what?
What the hell? Prestigious.
Prestigious?
Yes.
Prestigious. Rất là có danh vọng. Prestigious, you mean?
Yes. Từ này phải sai là prestigious. So, of course, that's what they tell me. Due to I am very well aware of my weakness, I participate in extra class. So I'm pretty sure that so back then I'm pretty sure that my victory will be a landslide because I am very well prepared for this one. But of course, in the end, I just barely managed to achieve an acceptable score. So even though I passed the exam itself, it doesn't leave me a very satisfied feeling.
A very satisfied feeling, you mean? Okay. Alright, I think it's good enough. A very satisfying feeling, okay? Or you feel satisfied. Alright, let's go to part 3 about difficult jobs. Mr. Leng, so what are the most difficult jobs that people do? Think about it.
I guess personally, I believe that being a scientist will be the most difficult job because you require a lot of thinking, knowledge, which will take a lot of years to achieve. And of course, you need to have a different way of thinking so that you can manage to discover something that no one ever knew before. So that's why I believe that being a scientist is extremely difficult.
Being a scientist, okay, that's just one job. Think about another profession. Think about being a parent. Being parents. Think about being parents. You are not paid. Of course, you are not paid. You do not have any kind of like holiday paid. You don't have unemployment benefits. Không có lợi ích khi nghỉ việc. Làm cha mẹ làm gì có lợi ích khi nghỉ việc, không có lương. And of course, you don't have insurance either for that kind of job. You have to work 24/7 as being a parent, of course. And a lot of the time, the subject of your job is your children. Becomes extremely difficult to educate. Đôi khi con khó dạy kinh khủng. So basically, being parents are the most difficult jobs that people can ever do, as in my opinion. What do you think about this one?
I guess it's definitely well, I guess beyond the statistics, it's definitely a very difficult job because many people, especially my generation and personally me, I believe that children is definitely a burden, and I guess you have to put up a lot with their attitude and their lack of knowledge, and I guess it's required an immense amount of patience to actually successfully raise children.
To successfully raise the children. You are speaking too fast again, Mr. Lim. Nói nhanh quá. Sai Lim.
Yeah.
Let's try to speak slower. To successfully raise the children.
Raise the children.
Okay, so why do you think some people choose to do difficult jobs?
Well, I personally believe that they just want something to challenge themselves. I guess that's the feeling when you achieve something that not everyone is capable of. It's extremely satisfying, and of course, this difficult job also comes with a lot of benefits like insurance and a well-paid, very well-paid. So that's why some people do go with very difficult jobs.
That's right. Okay. So you mean it's because of their personal choice that they chose difficult jobs? Maybe because they would like to challenge themselves more, to grow more, maybe. There may be an element of có một cái yếu tố nhân tố. There might be an element of you know personal choice in here. You know, sometimes sometimes when people choose difficult jobs, the competition rate, nó gọi là cái tỷ lệ chọi, competition rate, it's much lower because most people would not dare to do those difficult jobs, right? So as a result, maybe those workers might stand a better chance of earning better compared to like normal people in the workforce, right? Tỷ lệ chọi thấp chứng tỏ là gì? Cái lương nó sẽ cao hơn và well, maybe the job would be less stressful, who knows? That's just in my opinion, you know. So, do you agree or disagree that all jobs are difficult sometimes?
I guess that I agree with this opinion because it's definitely a period of time that not all jobs will become very difficult and even and I guess it's just sometimes you have to go to a very difficult time. For example, many job that related to service, for example, a hotel or restaurants are going to a very difficult time, even though many people view them a very easy way, easy job to choose.
They're difficult to choose. Okay, so I think we can just stop here because it's already time. Okay, cảm ơn các bạn theo dõi nha. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share this video with your friends. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. Bye bye.